Everybody, hey, make some noise. Stuart Sharpe is next. Make some noise, Stuart Sharpe.
How you doing, Liverpool? You all right? It's an absolute pleasure to be here, so it is, honestly. Let's just address the elephant in the room right now, get it out the road. You can probably tell by the accent, I'm fucking Chinese. I thought I'd get down here nice and early the day, apart probably, I think it was about half a mile away. I don't know the exact distance, I'm not a fucking weirdo. And on the way here, I get jumped with three little scallies. What a start to the night. They just started kicking the shit out of me, so they did. Managed to knock one out, though. Bit of a bonus. You try having a wank when you get your head kicked in. It's no easy. There it is. Have you ever done that thing, I know, when you're on a busy train, you know the table on the train and there's three strangers there, and your better half rings you and you go, oh no, this is going to be dirty talk. But you think the train's busy and then you turn round about and all of a sudden it's dead quiet and everybody's staring at you, listening into your conversation. Well, there's two things you can do there. I just bull into it and I carry on with it and I'm like, oh yeah. Yeah, it was the best lovemaking I've ever done as well. Yeah, it was tremendous. What, tonight? Again? Yeah, I love some of that. What, the see-through one? Yeah, with the red thong. Yeah, I cannot wait to get into Smash Your Pasty fucking clean in. Okay, Mum, bye. Tell you a little bit about myself. I was brought up in a rough council estate, south of Glasgow. Give us a cheer if you were brought up in a rough council estate. And you know yourself, yous that were brought up in rough council estates, you can tell how rough the estate is. If it's that rough, there's more furniture in the fucking front garden than what's actually in the house. There's always an old trampoline, isn't there? And a bus couch, and a pissy mattress. And the aroma of green comes up the street to you, doesn't it? And did you just give your neighbours nicknames on your estate? Like Baldy Bill and Fat Pat and that? But you couldn't tell them that because you get your head kicked in off them, wouldn't you? I'd like to share some of the nicknames off my estate with my next door neighbour. He was called Ronnie Slybacon because his surname was Cunningham. True story, that. With the lady that walked to the shop in all weathers in her flip-flops through rain, hail, sleet, dog shite, everything. Her feet were that filthy you could have grew tomatoes between her toes. Her nickname, Annie Blackfoot. That's what she used to get. But my favourite on our estate, genuine nicknames these, my favourite on our estate, the guy across the road from my mum and dad, his wife walked in on him, he had the pants round the ankles and the dog was licking his balls and his dick. And his nickname, Treacle Dick Wilson. There was another lady on the estate, all the lads had shagged her. She was into kinky sex and that. Her nickname was Shitty Belly. I don't know how she got that nickname, you'll need to work that one out for yourself. And I remember as well, in the 90s, my first time in the high school, especially PE, I was a bit body conscious and all that. And in our school, I don't know about your school, but in the 90s, we didn't have cubicles for the showers. It was a communal shower. So all the lads had to shower together, and I always remember there was about 25, 30 lads in our class. And I remember them all stripping naked and getting into the shower, and then me taking all my clothes off and walking in. And I was really surprised because I had the biggest cock out of them all. Mind you, I was the teacher. Probably shouldn't have been in there with them. And growing up in the 80s, we didn't have sayings like nonce or paedophile. We had nothing like that. What we had to look out for was Catholic priests or your weird, creepy uncle. And the thing is, he wasn't even your uncle. He was just somebody that your mum and dad said to you one day, as from this day onwards, this man will be known as your uncle. And you're like, is it? And we had Uncle Tommy growing up. And my mum felt really sorry for Uncle Tommy. And she used to take us round to Uncle Tommy's house and she'd say to me, go and sit in your Uncle Tommy's knee there, Stuart, that's a good boy. I'm like, I don't want to sit in Uncle Tommy's knee, Mum. Just go and sit in Uncle Tommy's knee there, Stuart, that's a good boy. But Mum, I don't want to sit in Uncle Tommy's knee, I'm scared. She'd say, go and sit in your Uncle Tommy's knee. I say, well, can you tell me to put his pants on, please? And get rid of his fucking hard-on. That would help as well. The other thing about growing up in the 80s was, this will blow your mind here, genuinely will. We didn't have showers in the 80s. In fact, we didn't even get washed. You only got a wash on a Sunday. Does anybody here remember the Sunday bath? That was the only day you got a wash, and everybody had to share the same bath water. And the pecking order for the bath water was oldest to youngest. You remember that, sir? And in my house, that wouldn't have been bad for some people, but it was for me, because I was the youngest of 6. So you can imagine the state of the water by the time I got in it. There was all sorts floating about in there. There was big chunks of skin. There was toenails. There was dead seals. I once saw Greenpeace protest at our plug hole. The water was that contaminated. Mind you, sir, it was even worse if my brother had had a wank in the bath before I got in it. I was like, what's that there? Is that conditioner? I'm going to try some of that in my hair. Ah, Jesus fucking Christ. And that wasn't even the worst thing in our bathroom. There was worse than that in our bathroom. We had a cloth that hung over the side of our sink Monday to Saturday. And everybody got washed with that cloth. I think my dad even wiped the dog's arse with it. It was that manky. The top and tail cloth, my mum used to call it. She'd say, go and get a wash with the top and tail cloth. Or as that me and my brother liked to call it, the fanny flannel. See, I had 4 sisters. So by the time my mum and my 4 sisters washed their fannies with this thing, it smelled like a fishmonger's welly, so it did. In fact, it was that bad, the seagulls were trying to smash their way into our bathroom window. The seagulls were like, get yourself in here, lads. I think there's a big tuna in there, we can smell it. It was disgusting, so it was. It was absolutely mental. The other thing, I know, I mean, we all know about Jimmy Savile and all that. That's fine. Oh, this gets bad. Strap in, put your seatbelt on here. We had a guy in my hometown. This is a true story, this or not. We had a guy in my hometown get caught shagging a cow. And I say to myself, how do you get caught shagging a cow? How does that happen? Did his wife walk in on him? There's the cow with the lipstick on, the hoof behind the back, sussies and 10 bras covering its udders. I don't know how it happens. Anyway, the guy got charged for it, the cow went into therapy, and we were in the pub talking about this. And we've got this guy drinks in our pub, he's called Weird Brian. He sits in the corner of the pub, you know the type, he's always in the corner, perving at the bar staff and that, and all looking down their tops and saying different sexual innuendos to all the women. Every pub's got a creepy bastard, hasn't it? And if you don't know who it is in your pub, it's probably you fucking weirdo. Anyway, for the corner of the pub, I heard this Weird Brian saying to us, he says to us, the thing is, Stuart, if you're going to shag a cow, he says, you don't want to take that cow from behind. And I went, He says, no. He says, you want to get yourself up in front of that cow. He says, you want to grip it tight by the head. He says, you want to stick your willy right up its nostril and shag its nostril. And I'll never forget the reply I got for that man when I said, why would you want to stick your cock up a cow's nostril? He says, so as it can lick your balls while you're doing it. And that kind of got me thinking. So it did. And if you don't mind, I'd like to ask some of you guys in the audience, if you're to shag an animal, the gun's at your head, it's fucking shag it or you're dead. What would you shag? Come on, the gun's at your head. Pick an animal, quick! What would you shag? Pick an animal! What would you ride, son? What animal? If there was a gun at your head, what would you shag? You'd die. Well, see me, I'd shag a giraffe. And yeah, that's a good question. Why, Stuart? Why would you shag a giraffe? I'll tell you for why. So as it could keep a lookout and tell me if Indy was coming. Thank you very much. I've been Stuart Sharpe, everybody.
Stuart Sharpe, everybody, right? It's a great time. I'll see you in 10 minutes. Give it over to 2 acts in that bit, mate.